Hey everyone, Damon here from Modern Computers. So this week we had quite an interesting request come through. A customer came to us asking for a Vulkan build that was going to be used for SolidWorks, ANSYS, and he was also going to run a few VMs. What made it different is that the customer needed the workstation to be very, very quiet. Just simply because of the environment he was working in. The room itself had a base of 30.5 decibels. And his current Dell workstation got into sort of the mid-30s. It would idle at around, I think he said, about 34 decibels. To him, that was unacceptable. So, challenge accepted. I think we've built probably the quietest PC we ever have. Generally, our workstations are quieter than most custom-built PCs, and definitely quieter than any Dell, HP or Lenovo workstation that you can buy. We use really high quality cooling components, fans. You'll see from some of our previous videos what coolers we use, how big the heat sinks actually are. They're not cheap, but we don't compromise on cooling performance and noise as well. So we really try and strike a balance between all of those. But this customer needed something a little more niche, a little quieter than we generally would build our workstations, because you also try and balance obviously the cost. But this customer was willing to pay a little bit more just to get that slight drop in noise from some of the changes that I have spoken about. Proof is in the pudding. The computer's on, as you can see, and I can hear the aircon more than I can hear the PC. Even if I run a few stress tests, which I'm going to do right now. So this is OCCT, a really well-known stress testing program. And we're going to go ahead and run a CPU stress test. The data set we're going to use is, we're going to choose the small option and extreme steady. So this is pretty much as hard as you're going to push this CPU. It's currently in its ship to customer state. So there aren't any other changes that are going to be made from here on out. This really is the way the customer is going to receive it. And it's running the stress test. No perceptible change in the noise. It is so quiet. I'm actually going to go ahead and have a look at my decibel readout on my Apple Watch here. I'm not pretending this is the most accurate, but just to give you an idea. So no change from this room's standard. I mean, if I go and shut the computer down and do that, and I'll show you again. No difference. So there's quite a bit that goes into getting the computer as quiet as it is. It's not just a case of throwing a few good parts in. There's a lot to consider, such as the fan curves. Generally, you can set the fans up to ramp up and down quite quickly, so it's very responsive to temperature changes. So we try and mute that down a little bit so that there's more of a gradual change. We also change the outright fan curve itself, not only for the CPU fans, but also for the chassis fans. It's choosing the right fans if you want more emphasis on airflow or air pressure. It's also the power limit, so changing the way the CPU reacts to demands in requested voltages, quite a bit of voltage tweaking. So really quite a bit that goes into actually getting the workstation to this quietness, for lack of a better term. But this is what we love, this is what we specialize in. So if you're looking for the perfect workstation for your needs, whatever it might be, architecture, engineering, construction, video editing, machine learning, computational fluid dynamics, we really specialize in a broad range of applications, and we craft the exact workstation according to those needs. Get in touch with us, moderncomputers.com. Have a look what we have to offer. We look forward to hearing from you.